Greg Jovi, Series Insider, is trying to get to the bottom of some of the things that you've done here recently. At stage 2, you shook hands with Makaze, you shook hands with Stephen Kennedy, and you said, I need you guys, I need backup against the Chaos Nation. And you got that backup. You worked real hard, you proved yourself to be good, and then at stage 3, after you got your wins, you low-blowed Makaze and Stephen Kennedy. You blew up that alliance that you had formed. Why did you do that?
Here's the problem. This is one of the main things that I wanted to come on here and retort from you, from Makaze, from the Blacklist, Stephen Kennedy. Everybody's running their mouth, and nobody wants to hear me out. Everybody acts like I went into stage 3 with some master plan. How am I supposed to know that I'm going to get those two guys out there so I can sneak up behind them? Oh, I'm sure I've orchestrated to almost get my neck broken with a pile driver, right? Like that was all part of my big master plan. No, I'm out there, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I legitimately wanted to save this company. I am one of the founders. I am one of the men that helped build this company. I am one of the men that's going to take it into the future. And here I look. As I get up from almost having my neck broken, I'm scared for my life, and I see who have been my two biggest rivals here. What would you do? Those guys could have easily turned on me and beaten me up and beaten me down. So I did what everybody naturally would do. I got myself safe, and I got out of the situation. That's all there is. That's all it was. I went in there. That person that you saw at stage 3 was me. Okay, the person kissing babies and high-fiving people, that's me. It's not my fault that that crowd turns on me. It's not my fault that you people paint me as a bad person. I'm not a bad person. I want to win. I want to hoist that trophy just like everybody else does. And just because I'm willing to do anything that it takes to get it does not make me a bad person.
It's a pretty warped sense of paranoia, though, that you would assume that they came to the ring and stood between you and Casey Carrington, and you assumed that they would attack you, though. That's a pretty warped sense of paranoia, don't you think?
Have you ever been in that ring? You have. And who attacked you? Me.
Yeah?
Anything can happen if you get in that ring. If you step in between those ropes and you allow yourself to be in danger, anything can happen. And I am not a wrestler, just like you are not a wrestler, and you would have done anything to get out of that situation. Imagine if you weren't in there with me, you were in there with a big bad man like Nate Redwing or Adam Castor or one of these giants that come step into this ring. I looked up and I saw 3 of the baddest dudes on the planet, and I was getting out of there. I did not have anybody to back me up. I didn't have any of my wrestlers. This was not some sort of weird, well-orchestrated plan. I had to be some sort of magician to work that up.
Okay. What was your plan, though, at least what you've told us, was, Casey Carrington dies. Well, Jeremy Wyatt lost the match, and then we come here to stage 4, the wild card stage, and Casey Carrington ends up winning that wild card fatal 4-way, and now Casey Carrington is in the championship spectacular, and he's potentially going to walk out with the trophy and destroy this company that you keep talking about that you want to save. At what point do you realize that the panic button needs to be hit? Casey Carrington could be the champion, and who knows what that means for our company.
Listen, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. I want to be in that main event as much as anybody else does. I want to be there fighting for that trophy as much as anybody else in that locker room does. But that didn't work out. What did work out is I looked at you in January 2015 when we had our last championship spectacular, and I said to you, I realize I'm guaranteed to win this game, and what I didn't realize is this was a hard game to win that we built. But I can guarantee you one thing, Makaze is not repeating. So everybody wants to act like I'm a man with a plan, and I was. Listen, I was out there, Makaze dove on me, he bashed my head into the ground, I tore a hamstring trying to get up, and I went to the back. I couldn't stand up. Jeremy White had to help me out of that ring, but I did everything within my power to make sure that Makaze didn't repeat, and he didn't.
Tore your hamstring, huh? You ran pretty fast to get back to the ring, though, when you unceremoniously dumped Makaze off the top rope.
adrenaline. It's all adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Oh, okay.
Hey, I don't have to answer to you on that stuff, right? You check with my chiropractor, my doctor, you see the bills. I'll give you copies if that's what your people want and plaster them all over your little show.
Okay. So now the challenge has been laid down. Makaze wants to get his hands on you. And in order to do that, it's going to be an ego buster of your choosing and a Blacklist member of his choosing. And you guys are going to have a match. If he wins, he gets to beat you up. If you win, you get his mask. How do you feel about the prospect of getting in that ring with Makaze and maybe you do get your neck broken? How do you feel about that?
I tell you what, this isn't hyperbole. I'm not standing on my pedestal. Listen, if I have to be in there, I'm going to be scared. And I'm going to be embarrassed. And I'm going to get beat up. That's what's going to happen if I have to get in that ring. But I don't have to get into that ring. I select the best talent in the world to come and be ego busters. And I'm going to select the best of the best to go against Makaze's guy. And him and his ragtag group of people, they're great as a team. One-on-one against one of my guys, occasionally it's just a no contest. This thing's got to end. And so, if I got to get beat up to get back to my focus to win that championship like I want to do, so be it. I've had my butt kicked before. I've had my teeth kicked in by Matt Fitchett. I've had my brains bashed in by some of these idiots running around here. I don't want it. I don't want to get beat up. I want that trophy. And if I gotta take a beating from the entire Blacklist, then that's what I'm gonna do to get it. But I don't believe that it's gonna happen. And seeing that mask in my hands, seeing his tattered, gross face for the first time, that's gonna be much, much sweeter than any beating he can deliver me, and I promise you that.